Hi everyone. Welcome back to the part 2 session of Helm Kubernetes deployment. So here in this tutorial, we will be dealing with Helm chart creation, deployment of an application using Helm, testing it out using Postman, and then we will be creating Jenkins pipeline and then deploying the same application using the Jenkins. Now let's start creating the Helm chart for our application. So for that, let me go back to terminal. I have created a blank repository and cloned it over here. So let me do a list. Yeah. So here I'll be running the Helm create command and then chart name. So since our application name is infrastore app, I'll giving the same name to the chart. So infrastore chart. I'll give infrastore. Yeah. Right. So this has been created. I do an ls. Here you can see a folder infrastore. Inside that we have our necessary files. Yeah. So let me open this in a text editor. Okay. Here we have the infrastructure Helm chart. Let me expand this. So if I go to templates, we have the deployment YAML, HPA YAML, Ingress service, and service account. So these are the default template files which will be created when we do a Helm create project name command. Right. So in addition to this, we will also require two more files, which is meant for creating PVC and also secret. So let's start with secret.yml. So I already have that file created. Let me copy and add it here. Okay. So the file is secret.yml. Yeah. Similarly, I'll be having one more file for creating persistent volume claim. Let me save that one too. So we have created PVC YAML also. Now let's go and check the default values file. Yeah. So this file will be used to override or feed values to the templates which we have under the templates folder. For example, let's take this image. Okay. So for that, if I go to deployment and search for image, line number 37, we can see that image is taken from values file dot values dot image dot repository. So let me go here. So it will be in values dot image dot repository. So the value will be NGINX. So in our case, as I told earlier, we will be using a pre-built image. So let me copy that image name, update it here, repository. So this is the image name, Sahir Babu Infra Store, and then that tag will be latest. Now let's add the ingress part. So if you scroll down, we can see the ingress is currently disabled. It is set as false. Let me enable it. Yeah, and the ingress class name we will be using is NGINX. So for now, I'm not updating any annotations. Let it be the default one. So it's no annotations are there. It's all commented out. Then host. So as I told earlier, we will be, I mean, we have already updated the etc host file. Let me just check it again. Yeah, so infrastore app.local. So let me copy this. So that's done. Yeah, so no other changes. So TLS, we don't have anything. We are not adding any certificates because this is just for learning purpose. Now let's check out the secrets YAML which we created, secret.yaml. So here, if you see, we are creating a Kubernetes secret where the data is taken from values file again, values.secret.django super user password. So for that, we have to add this in the values file. So let me copy this one first. I'll go back to values file. So maybe at the end, yeah. So it says values.secret.django super user password. So inside values, I'll add secret, then Django password here, super user password. I don't want to hard code this because this value will be fetched from Vault. So the password of this Django super user has already been pushed to HashiCorp Vault. Okay, now I want this super user password to be exported as environment variable. So for that, I need to update the deployment YAML. Inside the deployment YAML, if I go to container section, this is where I need it. So maybe under image pull policy, I can add env. So let me copy the code which I have already created. Yeah. So here it clearly says it is taking values from env. Okay. So this is the keyword Django super user password. And if you see the value here, it is fetching from secret reference. So there will be a secret which will be created as part of this deployment. From that secret, we will be fetching the super user password. Now, next thing we need is persistent volume claim. So let me go to PVCML here. So here we have created a template which says range here. That means there will be multiple PVC being created. So that's where we use the range in template. So let me make it clear by adding the actual values here. So again, persistence is fetching values from values.persistence.volumes. So I already have those values already created. Let me go back to values file and add this. So here it says persistence volumes. Then we have two persistent volumes, one for database, the for media. So values file is ready and we have the Helm chart ready for deployment. Now let's go to terminal. We'll create a namespace for the deployment. Kubectl will create ns. I'll give the namespace name as app.ns. Now if I do a list, we have the Helm chart here. Now let me do Helm upgrade -- install. I'll give infrastore app as the deployment name or the Helm release name. That's what we call. And then we have to give Helm chart. Then the namespace where we're going to deploy it. And we can also give values file with -f option, but here in this case, it will take the default values file and we don't have any other values file to overwrite. So I'll keep it as it is. Let's run it. So yeah, release infrastore app does not exist. Installing it now. So that's installed. Now let's check kubectl get pods -n app.ns. Okay, the pod is coming up. So I have noticed multiple restart of the pods of the pod. So 4 restarts. So and it has gone into crashed loop back off. So to debug this issue, let's quickly describe the pod. Okay, so if you see here, the events created started killing. So why was it killed? So if you see a warning unhealthy error, which says probe failed, readiness probe and liveness probe failed. Right, so let's go to values file and check for liveness. Yeah, here it is. So since for this application, there is no liveness probe and readiness probe set, the health check has not been set. That's why it's failing. So let's comment this out, save it, and do a redeploy. Run the command again. And now let me do get pods again. Right, so now it's running. Let me check the logs. Yeah, so the application is up and running. Now let's try to access it using Postman. Let me open Postman. And not signing in. Okay, so since we have the host entry already edited, okay, let's check the ingress. Yeah, infrastore app.local. Let me copy this, go to Postman, add it here. If I go to the architecture diagram, we have a couple of endpoints there. So one is API dot token. Let me copy this. Okay, let's, oh, it says 502 bad gateway. Okay, looks like the traffic is not reaching the pod. So let me go back to terminal and check it out. Okay, this is a logs starting unicorn listening. Oh, this is a problem. So the application is listening on port 8000, but if we check as we see, we have created it on port 80. So the cluster IP is the type. So the port is 80. So we need to update the Helm values file again. Sorry for that. So here in service cluster IP, port should be 8000. Let me save it and redeploy. Yeah, redeploy. Let me check the service again. It is VC. Yeah, that's now updated. Ports are up and running. Let's check the logs too. Yeah, fine. Now let's go back to Postman and try it again. Okay, so now we have a new error, 405 method not allowed. Yeah, that means the traffic is reaching our pod, but the method is not correct. I believe it should be post. That's what the documentation says. Yeah, now it's working. So it needs username and password. So for that, let me go to body and add username, Django username basically. It's admin and password secret 123. Let's test it out. Yeah, so now we have the token. That's good. Now let's test other endpoints also. For that, let me go to the architecture diagram. The next one is API slash upload. So here, let me copy this. Post request API slash upload. And this requires a file to be updated. So here, let me change the key from text to file. We'll give it as named as file. Then, okay, let me create a file. search demo.txt. I'll save it under downloads. Now let me select the file. Here's demo.txt. Let's try it out. Okay, authentication credentials is required here. So for that, from the first API, we have the token. Let me copy this. Now I'll go to headers and I'll add authorization. Then value will be token. Right, now let's add it. The submitted file is empty. Okay, let's edit the file then. Echo testing file upload. Let me write this. Let me do a cat and see if we have the right thing in place. Okay, now let's try it again. Oh, hooray, so it's done. 201, so created. And we got an ID also. Let's try uploading one more file then. Okay, let me dash demo 123.txt. I'll echo something. Is this? This is the demo file number 2. So we'll make it demo 123. Now let's upload this. Go to body, change this, select this, send. Great. Now the ID has changed to 3. That's good. Now let's go to the next endpoint, which is API files ID. So this should list the file probably. So let's go to Postman again. Copy this. This list. Okay, this is just files. API files slash. Okay. Then headers. We'll add authorization here. Okay, let's copy from this. Let's listen. Right, so we have the 2 files here, ID number 2 and ID number 3. Now let's see where this file is getting stored. For that, let me go back to our values file and see the persistent volumes. We have 2 persistent volumes. One is for DB and the other for DB. Sorry, the next one is for media. Now, let me get ports minus n app ns. We'll exit into the container. Right, so I'm inside the container now. Let me quickly do who am I. So root, so that is not a good practice to run a container as root. But again, this is for learning purpose. Just ignore the thing. Let me do a pwd. So I am under slash app. Let me do a list. Inside this, we can see DB and media. So let's go into media and do an ls minus lrt. This uploads. We have the 2 files, demo.txt, good, and demo123.txt. Okay, so that's good. Now let's go and use the last endpoint. to delete a file. For that, let me go back to Postman again. Copy this API files, and then we need the authorization key. I duplicate this. Okay, let me duplicate. Now we have the duplicate authorization header is there. That's good. File. So I'll delete the file ID 2. For that, let me give the file ID, and instead of get, I'll give delete, and let's try it out. Okay, so internal server, not sure what happened. Let me go back to the terminal and check it out. Pod should be running. Yeah, pod is running. Okay, let me go back to this API files, local app.local API files. That's correct. Maybe a leading. Okay, that's good. So it's working. So we have a response code 204. Now let me go back to the terminal. I'll execute into the pod again and go to media, upload, and do a list. So here we don't have that demo.exe. That's what we deleted now. Let's try deleting the ID number 3 also. So it's done. Let me do a list. So it's gone. So yeah, so we have successfully tested all the 4 endpoints, and the deployment looks good. Now let me show you how to uninstall the deployment. So for that, I'll do helm ls -n app ns. So this is our Helm release. To uninstall, just matter of running a command called helm uninstall -n app ns, and then release name, which is infrastructure app -n app ns. Yeah, so that's deleted. Now let's try deploy the application using Jenkins. So for that, I have already written a Jenkins file for it. So this is the one. This is a basic declarative form of writing Jenkins file. To start with, we have the pod template. So this pod template will be used to create Jenkins agent where our stages will be running in. So for that, we are using a marketplace image, which is already available, which has Helm and kubectl installed in it. But for a production environment, it's always recommended to create our own Docker image with hardened rules and security policies. Right, so this is the pod template. And then coming to the stages, we have the first stage to check out the Helm chart. We have the checkout format here. The branch we have specified as main. Then URL, let me update the URL to use my GitHub repository. So, okay, so here we have the repo URL, then credential ID. So this will be the Jenkins credential ID. So in Jenkins, we have to add our credential so that Jenkins can talk to authorize to GitHub basically. So let's do that first. So for that, let me go to Jenkins. Okay, in Jenkins, if I go to manage Jenkins, we have an option to add credentials where we already added Vault token. Now let me add another credential, username and password. So this is my username. I'll treat this as secret when it comes to output. Then password. I have generated a token from my GitHub account. So this ID should match the one we have given in the pipeline code. So credential ID. So it says git creds. Let me date it. Description. Okay. Git hub token. Read access. Yeah, so I have created that. Now let's go and create a pipeline. Infra store app deployment. I'll create a pipeline project here. Space coming. Here in the pipeline section, I'll paste the Jenkins file which I have. Right. Let's go back to the pipeline file and see. Yeah, then once it is cloned, I'm just executing a shell command to just list what all files are present there. After that, in the next stage, we are deploying the application where we are making use of the Vault plugin. That's what it's being used here, line number 35 with Vault. So since we have installed Vault plugin, we can make use of this code snippet here. We have specified the path, secret infrastore app. If you remember, this was a path where we injected our Django super user password. And this will be the Vault key, Django super user password, and this will be the environment variable. Here we are actually trying to print it out, but it won't be well because it's since it's a secret. This won't be seen in output, but at last we will be deploying it using Helm upgrade command and also passing secret over here. And this secret is fetched by HashiCorp Vault. Okay, let me save this file and push it to the GitHub repository. Done. Now let's go back to Jenkins again and let's build it. So the build has started. Let me refresh. Oh, it was so quick. So we have the two stages, Helm chart, checkout and deploy application. Let me check the logs here. So if you see, we can see a pod manifest. This was created as per the pod template which we gave. So this is for Jenkins stage, and you can see the image name here, right? So, and if I go inside, we using the Git plugin, we are downloading the GitHub repository. Then we did a list ls minus l here. The next stage is deploy application, where we are actually fetching the secret from Vault. As I told, it won't be displayed in the output because it's a secret value. But it is passed as an option to Helm upgrade install command. Right, so now let us quickly go and check the cluster. Yeah, so you can see 69 seconds ago, the application was deployed. So I'm not going in detail again for testing. So let me just check one endpoint. I'll, I'll check the Ingress first. Oh, okay. Right, so let me copy this. Okay, it's already in Postman. So let me go to Postman. We'll try to fetch the token. So this is a token right now. Let me set it again. Okay, so That's still working. So let me try to upload. I think the token has not yet changed, but again, let me copy this. I'll try to upload a file, the same demo.txt, demo123, for example. Let me update this. Okay, the same only. Send. Yeah, the file has been updated. Let me try to list it out. We have the file. So the deployment was successful. Right. Now let's do one more thing. So if you see in this project here, we have directly pasted out the Jenkins code here. So instead of this, since we already have it in our repository, let me open my GitHub repo. Yeah, so let me refresh this. Yes, since we have Jenkins file here in the repository, let's try to read the pipeline file from this repo. So for that, I'll copy the URL, go back to Jenkins. Instead of pipeline script, I'll give pipeline script from SCM, and here I'll provide git, then the repository URL. Since we have already added the credentials, it should come here. Yeah, the GitHub token which we added. So good. So the main branch will be the branch we are going to choose will be main. Then script path is Jenkins file, which is in the root location, so no need to change anything. Let's save it and apply. All right. So here, let's see the output again. Yeah, so this is the agent being created. Then it's checking out the repository. We can see the latest commit message in the repo. Yeah, and the deployment has been successful. That's all for now. I hope this video helped you understand the basics of Helm, Kubernetes, and Jenkins. If you found it useful, don't forget to share it with your friends and subscribe for more tech content. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.